But just so you know, I wasn't actually going to talk about Imra. I mean, not about my feelings, but I felt like you needed to know what she did and why she did it, because it directly affects you. The Legion didn't land here by accident.
Wait, I thought you hit a disruption.
Yeah, we did, but Brainy and Imra hit it intentionally. And they hid the real mission from me because they didn't trust that I'd want to come back to this time.
What's the mission?
Well, the third world killer. The one you haven't found yet, Pestilence. In 1,000 years, she evolves into Blight.
Whoa.
Yeah, so if we can find her now, in this time, then we can save everyone today and in the future.
Like, wait a sec. What was that back there with the T-Rex?
Cape tricks.
Oh, cape tricks?
My old Legion uniform had one, so...
Well, I've been fighting with a cape for 3 years, and all it seems to do is get in the way.
I can help with that, if you want.
I like that.
Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another video on Supergirl Season 3, and today we're going to be doing my review for episode 14, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any Supergirl videos later this year. So this episode was epic. It was a great episode to come back on. Looking back at it, I couldn't actually wish for more. It was a brilliant episode. We got a lot of Mon-El stuff, we got a lot of stuff to do with Winn, and overall the storyline was really intriguing. So I'm going to be breaking down this episode and going through the things I liked and maybe one or two things that I didn't like so much, but we're going to be going through it non-chronologically. So Mon-El and Kara talk, and this is closer to the end of the episode where they're back at the bar, and Mon-El actually reveals to Kara the real mission of why Imra and Brainiac on purposely crashed to come back in time. So he reveals that Pestilence actually evolves into Blight. So next episode there's going to be emphasis on Pestilence, and it's going to be quite a big episode on that, and obviously Mon-El's getting his suit, and I will talk a bit about that in a minute, but he reveals that Pestilence actually becomes the Blight, and so our sources were correct that that was the main reason why they actually came back in time. And also the other reason that will probably get revealed in the next few episodes is that Imra's sister does actually die at the hands of the Blight, and that's one of the main reasons. And also the main reason is to stop Pestilence before she becomes the Blight, before her disease actually spreads, so they can stop the Blight in the future. So also in that scene they set up the idea of Mon-El actually training Kara next episode, because as we saw in the episode, Mon-El did a trick with a cape to take down a T-Rex, and Kara was really impressed by it, so he's going to be teaching her some tips on how to take down the world killers that he learned when stopping the Blight. And also he reveals in the scene that he had an old Legion of Superheroes costume, and it did in fact have a cape, and obviously we know that is the red and blue comic book accurate suit, and Winn is going to be fixing that suit, and that's why next episode in the trailer we can see that he has his red and blue comic book suit, which is really epic. So moving on from that scene, that was probably the biggest scene in the episode. Mon-El's talk with James at the start of the episode was really awesome after the karaoke bit. I'll talk about the karaoke in a minute, but it was a exact replica of when Mon-El actually realized he liked Kara back in season 2. So Mon-El and James talk, which they did back in that season 2 episode, and then the camera switches to Mon-El's point of view looking at Kara as she laughs with Alex, which is exactly what happened there. And I think that's just the TV show actually teasing the fact that Karamel will probably come back soon, and you know, the idea of him actually still feeling for Kara, so he's giving her similar looks that he did when he first realized that he was in love with her. And so later in the episode we're just going to be covering all the Mon-El stuff right now. He actually apologizes for lying because now he knows how terrible it feels when someone directly lies to you, and it says something as big as crashing a ship so you go back in time. Like, that's crazy. So Kara feels for him and they talk for a bit, and you know, it's a bit awkward, and then Mon-El asks Kara to actually get a drink so they can talk about his problems later. And later in the episode Kara takes that as if he wants to talk about his feelings and his relationship with Imra, but obviously that's not. It's about the Legion of Superheroes and why they're back in time. So I really like the interactions between Mon-El and Kara. Like I've been saying many times, Chris and Melissa, they work so well on screen together. But at the start of the episode we get an awesome parody of all the superhero films, all the war films, everything like that in film history, and we get the karaoke scene, and this part of the episode was priceless. I absolutely loved it. We get to see Melissa drunk rapping, which is just brilliant. I love that. We get to see Alex singing a really emotional song, most likely to do with Maggie. James showing off his singing skills, he's really good. And we get to see Moran singing Frank Sinatra, and also we've got Jean singing, and you know, it's comedy singing for the most part for all of them because it's karaoke and you're there to have fun. It's not like a serious thing like the musical crossover, so it's all been done on purpose. And so the next biggest part of the episode was the end scene, and it was the reveal that Lena has actually been keeping Sam captive, and I'm guessing Sam is doing it slightly voluntary but still not at the same time. She's definitely imprisoned, so there's that aspect of her actually holding her in a cell, and next episode is going to be big on that. So Lena actually knows by now that Sam is actually Rain, which is crazy. So the main storyline for the episode is the Toyman story arc, with Winn's dad actually being found out to be dead. Laurie Metcalf shows up as Mary, who is absolutely awesome. She gives an impeccable performance, and Laurie Metcalf is just a brilliant actress and she does such a good job. I love her humor in this, and Jeremy Jordan is insane in this episode. His performance is off the rails, and I really like the interactions that Mary has with all the different characters. I really like the Kara and Mary talk near the start of the episode, and there's a lot of stuff like that to really enjoy in this episode. So my only criticism of the episode is obviously the CGI, and I will always give a pass on CGI on these TV shows no matter what it is, because they don't have the big budget. So that's the only problem that I had with the episode. And so there were some awesome fights with Supergirl fighting the monkeys in slow motion, and we get an awesome fight scene later with the toys versus Mon-El and Kara, and it was really awesome seeing that new move that Mon-El actually was taught in the future, and he's used it many times in the future, as maybe they have their own future versions of the Toyman in the future or stuff like that, you know, in general. And so we get introduced to the copycat Toyman, that being Jacqueline, the protege of the original Toyman, and we get a Silence of the Lambs reference with Mary calling her Buffalo Bill, and that's because the actress who played Jacqueline in this episode is actually from Silence of the Lambs. And so at the end of the episode we go back to the bar and we go back to karaoke, and we see Mon-El goofy singing, which is really funny, and I really like that. And we see the same thing with Winn and Mary. It's kind of goofy singing. They're not doing it to their full potential, because if you didn't know, Jeremy Jordan is actually a Broadway singer and he is amazing at singing, and so is Melissa, and so is Chris, and so is everyone literally that sang the karaoke. They're all really good singers in real life. Most of them graduated from musical theatre, so most of the singing was, like I said, is for a laugh. And so in this episode I want to finish this off with the priceless reactions from Kara, Alex and Mon-El in that end scene with Winn and Mary singing. It's just hilarious with them joining in and everything, and then Kara dancing at the start of the episode. And I have to say, this episode was just overall a blast. It had some really fun elements. We have some really important elements that set up the idea for the future, and you know, we got some reveals. It was overall everything that I wanted out of this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later for my trailer breakdown for episode 15, which is the Kara and Mon-El centric episode. So I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Strong, it doesn't make us weak. Tongue tied to service like shy free.